So we're really doing this again, blaming the refs, blaming the rules, blaming the universe, when the real story is staring everyone right in the face and nobody wants to say it out loud. Because when the Buffalo Bills lost 33-30 in overtime to the Denver Broncos, it wasn't stolen, it wasn't rigged, and it wasn't decided by some mysterious shadow force. It was decided by the guy Buffalo calls a superhero. And that's exactly why this hurts so much. Because superheroes aren't supposed to lose you playoff games. They're supposed to save you from them. Let's get this out of the way immediately. Yes, the interception at the end was controversial. Yes, fans were furious. Yes, social media turned into a war zone within seconds. But if your entire season comes down to one call, one throw, one moment, then you weren't as dominant as you thought you were. That's the uncomfortable truth Buffalo doesn't want to hear. Nick Wright said it bluntly, and honestly, it needed to be said. Whining about officiating is embarrassing. Not because refs are perfect, not because the NFL never gets it wrong, but because this game had way too many self-inflicted wounds to pretend one call decided everything. When you turn the ball over 4 times in a playoff game, you are daring the football gods to punish you. And they did. Josh Allen is one of the most physically gifted quarterbacks the NFL has ever seen. Cannon arm, size, mobility, toughness, leadership. He plays football like a wrecking ball with a smile. That's why fans love him. That's why Buffalo rides with him no matter what. But that same fearless style, that same belief that he can do anything on any play, is also what keeps haunting this team in January. The game didn't start with the interception. It didn't end with officiating. It started with decision-making. It started with situational awareness. It started with a quarterback trying to do too much when the moment demanded control. The fumble before halftime wasn't just bad. It was catastrophic. This wasn't a rookie panicking. This wasn't a broken play. This was a veteran quarterback holding the ball casually in traffic in a playoff game. A moment where every coach in America screams ball security, and somehow it slips away anyway. 10-point swing. Momentum gone. Stadium stunned. And somehow, people tried to blame the lineman for not falling on it. That's wild. That's when Nick Wright lost patience, and honestly, so did a lot of neutral fans watching. Because if we're gonna hold quarterbacks up as superheroes when they win, then they don't get to hide behind excuses when they lose. That fumble alone changed the entire emotional trajectory of the game. Denver didn't just get points. They got belief. And belief is dangerous in the playoffs. What made this loss even more painful for Bills fans is that the comeback almost worked. Josh Allen did what he always does. He rallied. He made jaw-dropping throws. He pulled Buffalo back from the edge. That's what makes this conversation so complicated. Because he giveth and he taketh away in the same game. But here's the part that separates legends from highlight machines. Situational football. Understanding when a play needs to be spectacular and when it just needs to be smart. Nick Wright pointed out something crucial that too many people ignored. When you're on the edge of field goal range, you don't need a hero throw. You don't need to challenge triple coverage. You don't need to prove anything. You just need points. Twice in that game, Josh Allen had throws that could have ended it. Clean looks. Manageable decisions. And twice they didn't happen. That's not officiating. That's execution. That's football reality at the highest level. For turnovers. 2 missed game-winning opportunities. That's not a conspiracy. That's a stat line. And that's why this loss feels different from the others. Because now the conversation isn't just about one game. It's about a pattern. Every January, the Bills are good enough to win it all. Every January, something breaks. Sometimes it's defense. Sometimes it's special teams. And sometimes, uncomfortably, it's the quarterback. Cam Newton took it even further, and this is where things get really uncomfortable for Bills fans. He didn't just blame Josh Allen for the loss. He blamed him for what came after. Sean McDermott being fired. A head coach losing his job. A franchise hitting reset emotionally. When Cam said people are losing their jobs because of Josh Allen, that wasn't hate. That was reality. Quarterbacks don't just win games. They decide careers. Coaches live and die by quarterback performance, especially in the playoffs. And when your franchise quarterback melts down at the worst possible moment, it sends shockwaves through the building. The worst turnover, according to Cam, wasn't even late. It was the one before halftime. Because that's where discipline matters most. That's where coaches preach caution. That's where you either walk into the locker room with momentum or regret. Buffalo walked in with regret, and it lingered. Now, let's be clear about something before this turns into a witch hunt. Josh Allen is not bad. Josh Allen is not overrated. Josh Allen is not the problem in Buffalo. But he is part of the reason they keep falling short, and pretending otherwise is doing him no favors. Superheroes still have flaws. And sometimes the flaw is believing you always have to save the day. This is where Buffalo faces a crossroads. Do they continue to embrace the chaos, the backyard football, the high-risk magic? Or do they demand evolution? Because the postseason isn't about flash. It's about precision. It's about knowing when not to pull the cape out. Nick Wright wasn't attacking Josh Allen. He was holding him accountable. And that's what franchise quarterbacks eventually need. The same way Brady was held accountable. The same way Mahomes is dissected after losses. The same way Peyton Manning was questioned for years until he broke through. The referees didn't throw 4 turnovers. The Calvin Johnson rule didn't force a fumble before halftime. The officiating crew didn't miss 2 potential game-winning throws. Josh Allen played like a superhero in moments and like a gambler in others. And the playoffs punish gamblers. Now the rumors start. Coaching changes. Roster tweaks. Philosophical shifts. This loss didn't just end a season. It reopened every uncomfortable question Buffalo thought they had already answered. Is Josh Allen good enough to win a Super Bowl playing this way? Can he adjust without losing what makes him special? Does Buffalo need to protect him from himself? Those aren't hate questions. Those are championship questions. Because the NFL doesn't care about excuses. It doesn't care about vibes. It doesn't care about how close you were. It only cares about who advances and who goes home. And Saturday night, the Bills went home. So here's the real question. And this is where I want to hear from you. Should Buffalo double down on Josh Allen's superhero style? Or is it time to demand a more disciplined version of their star quarterback when everything is on the line? Because the window doesn't stay open forever. And blaming the refs won't open it again.